and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is all about how to be a great moderator for an online event. Now, there's a reason why I'm standing here with this lectern in front of me and I look like I'm kind of in charge, look a little bit like a judge. But anyway, I'm stood here to illustrate the point that being a moderator is an important role because you are the person in charge of making sure the event runs smoothly. It's your job to make sure everything stays on track and on time. So let's get stuck into it to see how you can do that successfully. Number one, keep it simple. Your job as the moderator is not to be the star of the show. Your job is to link everything together, to be the glue that links all of the content together. So you don't want to be the person that shines in front of, say, all of the speakers. You want them to shine. You also don't want to take up too much of your audience's time. You are the linker, the glue to make sure that it's a very successful event. As a moderator, you have the opportunity to keep the audience engaged. And you can do that really easily by continually reminding them about what's happening next or what's coming up in the future of the event. So if ever you feel like the energy levels are dipping, remind the audience that there's a break coming up, remind the audience that there's a Q&A about to happen, a special guest later on in the day. Whatever it is, it's your job to keep that audience engagement level high. As the moderator, it's also your job to make sure that there isn't just one person hogging that microphone. And by that microphone, I mean that person who's always answering the questions, who's always asking the questions, who's always voicing their opinion. We all know in the live events that we've been to, there's always that one person who asks a question for every Q&A or has to voice their opinion. And when it comes to online events, that can be really, really distracting. Now, it's distracting for an event that is happening face-to-face, but it's much easier when you're face-to-face for others to get involved. If there's one person hogging the mic for an online event, it's incredibly difficult for others to interrupt. So as a moderator, you need to encourage other people to speak. If you feel like somebody keeps asking questions, give the audience an alternative way to ask. Open up the chat facility, let them email you in person, whatever it is, make sure that you encourage everybody's voice to be heard. As the moderator, I'm sorry to say, you are in charge of time. Now, we all know these things run over time, but the important thing about time is the audience will not forgive you if you run over and you start eating into their private time. Now, if people think an online event is going to finish at 4, it better finish at 4. Even better, let it finish early, but definitely don't let it finish late. So as a moderator, if there is a speaker who's going way over the time that's been allocated to them, then I'm afraid you need to find a polite way of interrupting and moving on to the next section in the agenda. Now, the way to interrupt a speaker politely is to preface this at the start of the session. So lay out your rules. So you're saying at the start when you're welcoming everybody to the event that every speaker has been given an allocated amount of time. I'd recommend 20 minutes. And then you can have some fun with it and say, it's my job to keep us on track and on time. So basically, if anybody runs over, then I'm going to blow this. You could have a prop, which is one of those big old horns, and you could press it, and that will encourage all the speakers to stick to time, but also you've made the speakers aware that if they do run over, you're likely to interrupt them. The other thing that you can do to really make sure that your presenters don't run over time is to offer up what I like to call the board of shame. Now, nobody wants to be on the board of shame, but you get on the board of shame if you run over time. So as a moderator, time is so important. You can do these little things, these quirky little tips and tricks to make sure that people respect the time that they've been given and they don't run over. Because remember, as I said, you must make sure you finish on time. So all it takes is a couple of presenters to run over, which means you can't do the Q&A, which means the boss's final message gets squeezed into next to nothing. So time is really important. Now, it may sound like I'm saying the moderator's job is to put pressure on the presenter and make their life hell, but that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, as a moderator, you take on the responsibility of the things like timing so the presenter can just focus on their content. So if, for instance, you are taking account of time, you think a presenter might be about to overrun, let them know in a WhatsApp message that they've got 5 minutes left. So you're doing that kind of thinking for them so they don't have to worry about it. You're taking that load off of them. And you can reinforce that message. You can let them know they've got 5 minutes, 4 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute. And what you might do is agree with all presenters in advance that you do that for every single one of them. Whatever you have to do to keep on track and on time. As a moderator, it is also your job to make sure the speakers are comfortable. So make sure there is a technical rehearsal in advance of your live event. In that technical rehearsal, you can talk through all the things that I've talked you through in this video. So you can let them know about the board of shame, linked below, and you can let them know about the need to stick to time. You can also put their minds at ease so they know that you are the person linking everything together and all they need to concentrate on is their presentation. So make sure you do a technical rehearsal in advance. And finally, make sure as a moderator that you thank people. Make sure you say thank you. Not enough moderators do this, and it's such a simple thing. Once a presenter has finished their presentation, thank them before you move on to the next person. And don't forget to thank your audience as well. Thank them for being sat there in their kitchen watching this event all day. It really does make a big difference. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you found these tips useful. Please do subscribe to my channel because I upload videos weekly and it makes a massive difference if I get more subscribers, basically. Let me know in the comments below if there is any content you'd like me to cover or if you have any questions about this video, and I look forward to seeing you next time.